How clearly can you see? I'm not speaking about your eyesight. I'm speaking about how clearly you can see yourself living your dreams in your life. Now, for me, to see our dreams is so important. And what will it take to live our dreams? What type of powerful vision do we need to have in our mind to make that happen? And what I'd like to do is to help you live and vision your dream is to activate your senses, your sense of sight, your sense of smell, your sense of taste, your sense of sound, and your sense of touch. So wherever you are in the room, in the audience, or even at home, find yourself in a position to sit your spine nice and tall. Relax your eyes with a comfortable gaze and breathe. Yeah, breathe. So already in this environment that you've created in your body, you're more aware, you're more present, you're here. Albert Einstein said it best. Imagination is everything. It is the preview to life's coming attractions. So how we envision our dreams, maybe we're dreaming a little bit less. Maybe we've stopped dreaming at all. Maybe we're living our dreams right now, and that's a beautiful thing. I believe passionately that when we live our dreams, we'll truly be happy. So for example, I was just in the south of the Netherlands, and I went to see the Dalai Lama speak. And the one key message that he shared that I took home was happiness comes from within. He said, there's no weapon more powerful than the negative emotions that we have in our mind and in our heart. And I don't know about you, but I'm my biggest critic. I make up stories all the time. I create fear. How many of you know what the meaning of fear is? It's 4 words. False evidence appearing real. 4 words. Fear is not real. Fear is something that we've made up in our minds. It's a story that we create. And if we start to believe that story running in our mind, even though we know it's not true, there's a very high chance that fear could come real. It could manifest. So another question for you. How many of you have ridden a bicycle? It's a silly question to ask in Holland. But the reason I ask you is that when you were riding a bicycle, you were already riding a bicycle in your mother's womb. You were learning the balance and the movement. And then you were born and you were on the front of the bike or the back of the bike. Or maybe there was 2 or 3 or 5 of you on the front. I don't know how many you can even fit. It's crazy. But what happens is you're a little bit older now and you're riding along and your parent, you remember, was pushing you along and you started to feel the rhythm and the pace of riding a bicycle. And all of a sudden you're a bit older now and you're completely independent, riding down the road, leading your entire family. How do you think that happened? Well, you practiced. You practiced before you even knew you were practicing. You were practicing in the womb, you were practicing as a baby, you were practicing as a little kid, and all of a sudden your fear began to diminish because you started to feel what it was like. You practiced. Imagine this. Imagine if you lived your dreams, those powerful dreams in your mind, just like you practiced riding a bicycle. You practiced living your dreams. You practiced living your life. Yeah, but we don't really look at it that way, do we? So one of my biggest mentors in my life is a multi-billionaire. He's amazing, although we haven't met yet. His name is Richard Branson. Have you heard of Richard Branson before? He said, if you are given an opportunity in your life, an amazing one, and you're not sure you can do it, say yes and learn how to do it later. I love this idea, but most people won't do it. Why? Because most of the time we're scared to do something that we don't know how to do, of course. Most people are waiting for the certificate, the degree, the license that says, okay, now I'm able to do this, and now, only now can I actually share this information with you. So if I were to share with you the most powerful company, athletic company in the world, and their slogan was, just try it, no one would be getting anything done. That'd be like reaching for your running shoes, hovering your hands over trying, but not doing. Their slogan's just do it, make it happen, or dream it real. Dream it real. Dream it real is our company's slogan or motto. Prana Force Yoga. We take people around the world and share with them yoga retreats, teacher trainings, wellness, so that we can learn how to slow down, right? We've got pretty good at going fast. So we're in this space now, and now I'm going into my first practice. I was 16 years old when I was first introduced to yoga. And like most guys that are introduced to yoga was because of a beautiful girl. Let's just be honest. I was in love with this girl and I wanted to know and get to know her. So I walk in the room, I open the door, and as soon as I walk in, I take a breath, my nose hair started burning, it was so hot. I couldn't breathe, I started to gasp for air. It was so humid in the room, I began to sweat profusely. And as I look around in the room, laying down, everyone's laying down half naked. I'm thinking, what the heck is going on in here? After 90 minutes of moaning and groaning, turning and twisting, I was done. I was cooked. I was exhausted. I thought, I'm going to throw this sweaty towel in. There's no way I'm going to get this girl. So here I am. What had happened was the next day, I came back to practice. And the next day, I came back to practice, and I came back to practice. I continued to practice. Why do you think I practiced? Well, what it did for me is I began to feel more. My visions became more clear. And the number one thing is that I learned how to breathe. I learned how to breathe. No one's ever taught me how to breathe before. So in this space now, I'm training and I'm practicing using yoga as a tool to help heal my body. And after that whole summer, I'd come to the next season at the local college to play American football. And the next play was for me. And on the field that day, there was a scout, a coach from the University of Hawaii. That's where I wanted to play. I wanted to go play football in Hawaii. That was my dream, ever since I was young. So the next play was for me. I was handed the ball, grabbed the ball, started running in between the first set of defensive men, made a move on the second defense, and I was gone. I was off. I was running so fast that I was thinking, oh my gosh, this guy must have seen me. There's no way that he didn't notice. I'm running for Hawaii. All of a sudden, I'm slowing down. My foot's planted on the ground, and I'm pulled from behind so hard that all of a sudden, pop. My knee popped so loud the entire field could hear it. And as I fell to the ground, grabbing my knee, screaming at the top of my lungs, it wasn't the pain that I felt that hurt so much. It was the fact that I wasn't going to play football again. I knew it. Why would this coach take me now? So my dreams shifted, right? Our dreams shift. They change, they evolve, they move on. And I started to question and ask myself all these questions about my life. And I look here at Maslow's hierarchy and looking at the basic needs. Now there's three main questions, if I were to share them with you, to help you dream it real. Yeah? The first question is this, and if you were to answer it genuinely, completely, with all of your heart, the first question would be this. What is the most important thing in your life? Beyond your husband, your wife, your children, your family, what is the most important thing in your life? Beyond your community, your faith, your religion, beyond your passions, what is the most important thing in your life? Ask yourself this question. You see, it's not until we realize that the most important thing in our life, our well-being, our mental clarity, our freedom from stress and fear, that we can ever give back our all to our children, to our husband, to our wife, to our passions, to our dreams. In other words, it's not until we really give all our love to ourselves completely and wholeheartedly that we can ever give it all away. Does that make sense? So as my dream began to shift, I moved to my next dream. And at this point, I was so excited because it was something that I really, really loved. And Walt Disney said it best. If you can dream it, you can do it. Yeah? It all started off with a dream and a mouse. So here I am, living my next dream. My dream was with a dream and a motorcycle. So I'm just a little kid, now I'm 21 years old, riding through the North San Francisco coast, just along the coast, along the water. And I was following a friend that was so fast, I always tried to keep up with this guy, and it was like I was just trying to pass him, just one day so I could pass him, right? Like life. You're trying to pass, you're trying to go so fast, succeed. And I saw my chance, I had my moment, I got right behind him, pulled right behind his tire, and I could see it. I said, this is my chance. All that time, all that training, yoga practice, breathing, I knew what to do. I downshifted, rolled on the throttle, and as soon as I could, I was past my friend, screaming past my friend, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going so fast. Something took me over. I was in the flow. I was in the zone. I was in the moment. And here I am riding down this road so fast, I see the turn coming up ahead. I start to brake and I lean my body over, I lean the bike over, my knees scraping the ground, grass is hitting me in the shoulder, and I start to lift the bike up. I'm thinking, yes, I got it. Passed him. And all of a sudden, within a few bike lengths away, there was another turn. And at that speed that I was going too fast. I couldn't slow down, and I knew it. I knew it from a flashback that I had from when I just started practicing yoga, dying, sweating in the yoga room, learning how to let go of things that I couldn't control in my life. I looked ahead and there was no cars oncoming, but I knew at that point, that moment in my life, in my mind, in my heart, I let go more than I've ever let go in my entire life. I made the decision I was going to die. As soon as I pushed off the bike, I flipped head over heels and I went flipping up over the edge of the cliff, hitting rocks, crunching branches, breaking. I could see cliffs of the sky, blue with clouds. And all of a sudden I come to a stop. And I look at my hands and I look at my knees. My bike's an arm length away and I'm thinking, this can't be real, I must be dreaming. And as I look off into the distance, in the mud, in the marsh, I see my friend's bike. My friend, he crashed off the cliff too. I'm thinking, oh my God, I pushed myself up to stand. I grabbed my ribs, screaming for JJ. I think I broke my ribs or something. I said, JJ, say something, are you okay? No response. JJ, please say something. I'm starting to get scared. As he works his way up to stand, he gets up and turns around and he lifts his arm and he points up over my head, and I turn and I look up, and I look up. And I look up. We had just flown off what was equivalent to a 10-story building. Well, we get so scared, we climb up the hill and the police are already there. Someone from the local newspaper is already interviewing my friend, and my friend's thinking, man, that was so fun, I want to do that again. I'm like, dude, we're alive. The police officer comes up to us and says, you know what? You shouldn't be laughing. No one else has ever survived off this cliff. Everyone else has died. You're the only two that have ever lived. And exactly then, I realized that what the most important thing in my life was my life. And it was responsible, it was all me. I had to live it on purpose, for a purpose. So I went to the hospital, came back home, no internal bleeding, no broken bones, everything was fine. Just some sore ribs and a broken ego. I'm laying on the bed, my mom's coming in and talking to me, and she's crying. She was so scared. She was the one that taught me how to envision my life, and I was putting it at risk. It shouldn't take flying off a cliff or getting yourself into a position that you get hurt to realize that we're here for a purpose. What if you knew what your purpose was? Would you live it? Would you give your all to know you gave your best? So the second question is, why? Why do you do what you do? Once you figured out what's the most important thing in your life, now why? Why are you going to do the thing? Why do you make money? Why do you go to work? Why do you do what you do? Because if you know what your why is, you'll figure out how. Your why has to be so compelling, so passionate, exciting, that you're emotionally connected to it. You're in love with it. Because when it moves from your head to your heart and they unite, you better be ready, because you're that much close to making it happen. So again, I tell my mom, you know, I understand. She's saying, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here. And I had just remembered I was leaving in 2 weeks for Thailand for my first yoga teacher training. And I said, Mom, I love you, and thank you for always being here for me, protecting me, looking out for me. But I have to go. Why would any mother allow their 21-year-old son who just flew off a cliff go across the world to where she couldn't take care of him? Why do you think she would do that? Well, I'll tell you why. First, I told her what? I said, Mom, I'm my most important. I realize now my life is the most important thing. And then I told her why. Why was I going to go that far? Why? So that I could heal myself, my heart, my mind, my spirit. And the final question is how? How are you going to do it? I needed to put myself around the people that could help support me to be and live my dreams, to be well. So that's what happened. Now I'm in this position now where I just told you the secret. Did you get it? The secret to dream it real? The secret's this: that when someone you love, who loves you just as much, sees your vision clearly, just as much as you see your vision, the universe conspires to help you make it happen. Can you imagine that? That's the secret. So I'm now here in Holland, visiting all of you. I'm so thankful. I've been teaching and practicing yoga for 18 years. That's more than half my life. This is not something that you do. It's not about what you do in the practice of living life. It's how you do it. You understand? How you live your life, your actions, how you carry yourself. So I'm living my dream right here, right now, on stage. Can you believe that? I'm speaking to all of you. That's a part of my dream. Traveling the world, learning all that I can so that I can teach all that I learn. When is it going to be your time to live your dreams? Yeah? Can you see clearly now? Namaste.